Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have quite a nice rack. Is there a bingo here? I'm thinking there isn't, although it's very close. So how to sort the rack out? Certainly a play of woo would achieve that, and this rack leave is pretty good. So woo for 12. Fantastic. I have a ton of 7-letter bingos on my rack, and I'm fairly confident one of them at least will play. No access to double word squares at the moment, so do I have anything beginning or ending in O? So somniate, miss a tone, and there's a couple of others, but I don't think any of them hit the triple word square. Masonite, it may just be the 3. Woo takes a number of hooks after it, so column 10 available. And I'm also looking at rows G and I at the moment, where I probably do have some overlap plays. I'm sort of not going into detailed calculations at the moment because whatever my opponent plays is going to disrupt the board significantly. Let me just say that it is the beginning of the month, so a big shout out to all my supporters on Patreon. I'm hugely grateful for your support, and a new video has been uploaded yesterday. One new video gets uploaded each month exclusively for Patreon subscribers, and those who subscribe have access to the entire back catalogue of Patreon videos. So once again, thank you to all my supporters on Patreon, and if you want to join them, you can for as little as $1 a month at the moment, and the link is in the description below. Now, look at this. Opponent's played Cyber, and he's created a double-double lane. So, do I have a double-double? What are the 7s with this rack? Well, there's Etamins, Inmates, Mainest, Mantes, Tamiens, and Tamines. And none of those are double-doubles. So, where is the best place to play? And I'm wondering if an overlap play is going to be better than a column 11 play. I think that's going to be tricky because it would require the M to be in the middle. So I don't think there is a play which works in row G. So what do I have in column 11, which doesn't place a vowel next to a premium square? Well, I'm not sure there's anything. Well, but there is. There's Etamins for 78. Horrible rack. Absolutely terrible. Not only is it very unbalanced with 6 consonants, but it's also going to be very difficult to sort out in one go. So I'm likely to have a problematic rack next turn as well. Cyber has blocked the board up, so I think a lot of the action is going to be around Etamins. Now, having said that this is an awful rack, I do right now have Axe in row J for over 50 points. And the rack leave from that would truly be awful, but it's a big score. And it remains available. Just 23 for opponent. So can I do any better? And pretty much anything which plays off an extra consonant is certainly going to be better from a rack leave perspective. So I have facts for 44. And let me just... fantastic. That makes the decision a lot easier. Opponent's play of Huia has actually prevented me from getting the X tripled twice. So I don't need to consider what score I'm sacrificing to play off an extra tile. So facts for 44, is there anything better? I don't think so, and I like this play because it chokes the board up, which I'd like to do when I'm ahead and when my rack is rubbish. So here we go. And the rack deteriorates further. Is it bad enough to change? Pretty close. I think the only play which might be better than changing would be girl, GRRL. Though there's nowhere for that at the moment. Huey takes an S and nothing else. Hob takes nothing in front. C only takes an H. So column 13 looks like the best place to play, but that's not ideal. And I'm thinking in terms of my opponent, not me. I certainly can't play there. But F only takes an F, S, and T after it, so he may not have any of those tiles. In which case, what will he do? I guess column 10 also available for a 3 or 4 letter play, getting some value. But if I can't play girl, I think I will be changing, probably keeping either just the R or C and R. I wouldn't want to keep just the R and then draw 6 vowels. So, super tight board, and I thought after playing Etermins the board would be wide open, which quite often is the case after an early bingo. But not in this case. But it's fine. I have a lead of 80 points. The best bingo lane, probably column 13, sticking an S on the end of Huia. Still both blanks to come. Now, row H also available, not as a bingo lane, but as a scoring spot. Well, opponent did have a tile for going after F, and he scored well, which is a little bit annoying. There is nowhere for girl, so I am changing. One good thing about Toad is that opponent has taken out the bingo lane in column 13. So in some ways the board is even tighter. I am thinking about keeping just R, because the board is so tight. I'm not seeing anywhere for a C to play. Now, I know row G is a bingo lane for bingos ending in E, which I didn't mention before, or ending in a couple of other vowels as well. Shall I keep the C? I think I will. It is bingo-y, and 1 C has been played. Great. I'm glad I did keep the C. It makes this rack more balanced. I'm not seeing a 7-letter bingo with this rack, although it does look close. Quite a few 6-letter plays. So I could play Urtica in row G. Now what about row H? Do I have anything beginning with the N? Almost any play here is going to provide opportunities for opponent, whether that's my opponent playing or me. So just wondering about Nauri, N-A-U-R-I. I don't think that's good. Sorry, Nehru. Nehru is, that's what I was thinking of. And that's quite nice, quite a nice rack leave, ICT, and only providing floating IRU, not massively dangerous. And over 20 points. Opponent may well be looking in that spot himself. I'm just looking at Axe to see if there's any likelihood of further value from that. Nothing is jumping out beyond a play coming down column 14. Wow! 12 points by opponent, but Sanote takes an S, and I'm thinking he probably has one. He's burnt a lot of bingo-y tiles to create this opening, but maybe that's the right thing to do since he trails. So, do I have any bingos through these tiles? And I do. I have uranitic. Do I have anything else? Uranitic just misses being a double-double. Does it have an anagram? I don't think so. Do I have anything? Well, nothing else is going to score more, so I don't think I'm going to spend time looking. Uranitic 470. Awful, dreadful pickup. There is a floating U, but do I actually have a Q play through that? Not sure I do, which is unbelievably annoying. But I'm not seeing a play. And I'm thinking, well, opponent's not guaranteed to bingo now at all, since he did play off 5 tiles, even if he retained the S. A bingo would be a possibility rather than a probability. Now, what am I going to do with this rack? I could play melded in row N. 20 points. Not amazing. But I'd quite like to turn over tiles with this rack, with a view to drawing vowels or blanks. Do I have a play down from the T? That would extinguish the S-hook danger, or reduce it to a non-bingo threat. Don't think I do. This is a really horrible rack. Now I could play muddle through the U, and although that would destroy the U for my Q, melded would also interfere with that, but not destroy it. So maybe melded is the play. Anywhere else on the board I should be thinking about? My M can go between M and U. Well, that's it. And I don't have a 5-letter play beginning with N. 12 minutes on opponent's clock. He has used up more time than me, which is unusual. Just momentarily wondering if there was an anagram of uranitic, but it hasn't come to mind. Melded is fairly dangerous. It opens up row O for plays which don't have an S. But I'm not seeing anywhere else for a better play. And I think melded is better than muddle, not just because it leaves the U alone for the Q, but muddle also places an E in row O next to this double letter square, so opponent could have a big score even without a bingo. I'm wondering if opponent has got a blank given the time he spent on this play. I think if he had 7 straight tiles, I think he'd have probably determined by now if there was a bingo. Who knows? Well, we will know shortly, but we don't know now. I'm slightly disappointed that nothing better has come to mind than melded. It doesn't feel a great play. But this rack is pretty appalling. Do I have anything through the R? I don't think so. Great. Well, great that opponent hasn't bingoed, but he has taken out my melded spots, unless I bump it further along, and I think I will. Well, do I now have a... Wow, what about mured? This might be better than melded. 28 points, that's a much bigger score than playing melded, and melded also provides access to triple word squares. So the rack lead not as good, because melded would be burning 5 tiles and I'm only burning 4, but this is a better play. Wow, what a pickup. A U, a blank, and an S. Wow. Is it good enough for a bingo, though? Gosh, that is a stroke of good fortune. Now, I have an L for going after axe, and a D and an S. Are there any 7s with this rack? And I'm ignoring for the moment. Well, let me just say I have an S for going on the end of cenote. But in the first instance, do I have a 7-letter bingo with this rack? And I'm quickly going to run through the alphabet and see if anything comes to mind. Not seen anything yet. And the vowels look like they're the best bet. That would be squalled through an A. Not seeing anything there. Still nothing. No, I'm not seeing a 7-letter bingo with this rack. If I don't play a bingo, I do at least have souk in row O for over 40 points. That remains available. Wow, a new bingo lane for bingos ending in S in column 1. But is there a bingo I'm missing? And given that I've considered 7s, let me consider 8s. So there's the T and E of cenote. Not seeing anything with the T. What about the E? Not seeing anything. So, do I have anything better than souk? Don't think so. 45 points, pretty decent score, and this is a nice rack leave. Is this one of these instances where this is a good play, but there's a much better play that I'm overlooking? Do I have well, let me just pause for a moment. Do I have a play with the Q getting doubled, a Q something S play? No. Let me just reconsider this rack with the blank as an I, as a vowel rather. So blank as an A. No. E, no. I. Squiddle through a D. Sorry, quiddles through a D or an I. No, I'm not seeing anything. Something is bugging me about this, that this is really bad in some way. Souk for 45. Well, this is a nice rack. I will surely be bingoing now. I've got dough lines in column 1 and the same word in column 14. And I lead by 130. Wow, great bingo by opponent. He does have an S. So there's one S, one blank to come. Do I play in column 1 or do I play in column 15? So I think this purely comes down to score. Well, it partly comes down to score. Column 1 is a really nice bingo lane, so I could just take that out by playing dough lines. The column 15 is less good for opponent to bingo, but I would consider playing there if I could score a lot more. There, that's what I wanted to say. So 11 minutes on my clock. Do I have something big with a big overlap coming down here? Well, indoles, dolines and sondali are the anagrams, so I'm not going to be able to hook Axel. So the next thing to consider is, do I have a 5-tile overlap? And I may do. The E would have to go next to the R. And these tiles fit quite well. I think I will quickly run through the alphabet, and I think this is going to be a big enough score to merit doing. I'm going to go quite quickly, so I may miss. Eloined. No. As in it doesn't fit. Glenoid. No. Still not seeing anything. That's what I've considered. Nothing there. Unoiled. No. Okay, great. Well, I'm not seeing anything there, which makes it a lot easier to play dolines. Any other bingo lanes I should be considering? No, I don't think so. Ewer takes a lot of front hooks, which is why I'm keen to play here. Even without a bingo, opponent could score well. Now, I'm going to pause now because this isn't the highest scoring bingo, because a D can go next to your. So I have Eloined. Are there any other plays which don't stick an E there? But actually this E isn't dangerous, because look at the remaining big tiles. How many of them go next to the E? The W does, and the H does. So I'm not going to spend time looking for a better play. So Eloined for 84. Wow, great pickup. There may not be a bingo here, but the Z with a lot of vowels is pretty much always a nice sight. And I lead by 140 points. I have Zoni in column 2. Do I have anything in column 15? Well, I may do. I'm expecting opponent to play there. Now, I could play Zoni in column 13, making ZE, and that would be a big play. 20 tiles to come. That would be a really big play, and if opponent plays in column 15, I still may have a column 13 Z play. Let me consider the score in column 2, in case the right-hand side of the board is taken out. 36 points, that's a decent score. Still 1H to come for going underneath the C of Uranitic. So supposing opponent doesn't play in column 15, do I have anything in that column? I do have an E for going next to the R, but my Z would have to be below that. And I'm not seeing any EZ plays which get tripled, as in hitting the triple word squares either above or below. Just now looking at the floaters on the board to consider if I have a bingo. I think it's unlikely, and I think it's just the T, and I'm not seeing anything with that. Eloined takes nothing in front. Glad took out row G as a bingo lane. My R can go between A and C, but that's all I can do. I can't play anything parallel to Uranitic in that row. Still 1S and 1 blank to come. Let me check the remaining vowels. 7 out of 27. It is a very vowel dry bag. So I probably shouldn't rush to play Zony. I could end up, as I did at the beginning of the game, with a ton of vowels. Now, 41 for opponent. My Zony spot remains available. But is there a way of playing off fewer vowels? I don't think so. I could play Zo EAE, but that's burning off more vowels. So Zony for 71. Wow. I draw a blank. I don't hit any more vowels, but the blank and the Y are welcome sights, and the Y is welcome because it's a quasi-vowel. So, do I have a bingo? I may do. There may not be anywhere to play it, but this rack looks close to being a bingo. I've got the LY ending, but I'm not seeing anywhere on the board for bingos ending with a Y. Let me just consider if this E of Zony is available for a bingo. It is, in precisely 6th place. Well, that's been restricted. Kip takes E, P, and S. So, 7 minutes on my clock, 9 tiles in the bag. I lead by 130, so I'm in a very strong position. Let me quickly check for a bingo. And I'm keeping an open mind as to how it ends. I'm not just looking for LY plays. Not seen anything yet. Graithly through a T, I think. And there was lethargy as well earlier. Through a T or an E. So how about an O? No, not seeing anything there. No, nothing there. That's lethargy through an E. No, 6 minutes on my clock. So what to do here? Well, could I have a 6-letter play? Hooking core. That would require an A in first place. So I could play Argyle, burning the blank. I don't think I'll do that because I think I've got a good score here of 37 points, retaining the blank. And I'm inclined to play this. Just wondering if I can play off any more tiles. No, don't think so. And what about a play ending in H? No, not seeing anything. I'm going with this. I draw a vowel, which is good, but the V and the W pretty grim. I would have lawgiver through an A or an E. Neither available. Board pretty tight, but really that's fine. I'm 160 points ahead. This game is won. And the blank and the I mean that I'm going to have options. Column 14 looks like a possible spot to play. This is actually going to be pretty tough playing through these final few moves. So what do I have which hooks core? Just, well, possibly an I, but I don't think so. And in any event, that's pretty useless. But I don't have any 6-letter plays using the blank as an S. I was thinking about hooking my W onto PA, but there's nothing there which gets doubled, which doesn't use the blank. And I'm inclined to hang on to the blank, not because I'm angling for a bingo, but just because of the vowel shortage and because I can't really play it for many points. Now I played the last H, which could have gone underneath the C. Opponent must be in a similarly grim position to me, especially if he has only got one of these 4 remaining vowels. Ordinarily, I'd be looking to play off the V and the W, but this board is so tight, I'm struggling to find places to play off anything. Now, what I do have is a veg and go for a very tiny score, but sorting out 2 of my 3 problem tiles. But I'm really seeing very little else. I could burn my S and play Verls, but I'm not going to do that. That would, apart from burning the blank for not very much, it would provide opportunities for opponent to play. Just 2 minutes on opponent's clock. And he may have a play down in column 15, so maybe I should consider blocking that in some way. I don't have any hooks for Kip apart from burning the blank. EW is good, so I could play Wig. That's worth thinking about, although opponent could then have jogs, which would be a bad thing. Hob takes nothing in front. We only takes the vowel in front. Well, this game is going to be put to bed soon. Opponent's down to just 1 minute on his clock. What about a play for me through PA? Well, I think the best I can see there is Paul for 10 points, but that's quite nice. The L is a pretty useless tile, and it's covering the double letter square. Okay, so, wow, so close to lawgiver. Opponent just hasn't provided a vowel. I am going to have to take out this row A spot, even though opponent does not have a triple through that. I can just score too much in that spot, and so can opponent. So 3 tiles in the bag. I can play Wriggle, or should I just play Vig? Let me see what this looks like. Well, that's 21, but this is a pretty horrible set of tiles. But I will be leaving 1 in the bag. And the alternative, that's 21. The alternative to that, $36. 15 more points. So 3 tiles in the bag. If the J and the V are in the bag, opponent could have a bingo which plays in row B. So I am going to play Vig. And I can't see anything longer than that. So Vig for 21. Well, opponent's got either the J or the V. And he's still got 1 minute on his clock. And my rack is pretty atrocious. But I could play Rap in column 14. Now, there was a bingo lane for opponent in column 3. I'm just thinking about my decision not to play Wrigley because of a row B bingo. But if opponent had tiles capable of making a bingo in row B, they may also have made a bingo in column 3. So possibly Wrigley better, but that would have emptied the bag. And I think the J or the V would have been in the bag. I don't think opponent would have played GRR with both of those tiles. So 8 points for opponent. He's taken my wrap spot. Do I have a play in column 15? Possibly not. And I'm looking for a play which would get tripled. But I'm not seeing anything. 3 minutes on my clock. So that's quite a nice play by opponent. So has he set up a spot for himself? He has, because he has S Joe. So I think I do need to do something about that. What can I do? Not terribly much. And if I play Vril, then opponent has Jolt. The outcome of the game is not affected. I am going to win. So I think what I need to do is play in column 15 and not get the play tripled. So I can play Pew for 15. I'm pretty sure this is the right thing to do, because otherwise opponent has a massive J score and he just doesn't have a massive one otherwise. Just wondering if I can play one more tile which doesn't provide access to this triple word square. Let me just put this back. I've still got plenty of time. Well, I was thinking about playing Reng, but that takes an A, so Jota could play. No, I'm not seeing anything better than this. Pew for 15. And I'm unlikely to go out with this rack. If the opponent places an A in the open, I may have null. So opponent is going to go out with AE, I'm sure. TAE and VAE. 1 minute on my clock. I need a vowel to play through. And opponent has AE, OE and jar if I don't play in this spot. So long for 10. I'm just pausing 50 seconds in case I could get stuck with the R, but I can't. There are 2 spots for it. So both of us down to our final few seconds in this game. And that's it. And the final score, 370 for my opponent, 515 for me, a winning margin of 145 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first, and I played Woo. Moa, quite nice. 6 more points. So does M add 6 points to a rack lead of EOS? I think it probably does. I think it's going to be very close to that. EOS must be worth about 8 or 9 points. And I think adding the M is going to add another 5 or 6 points to that. So I'm happy with my play. What about Awesome for 30? That's a pretty good play. It's a big score. It's 18 more points. But I think Mo's Is Mo's 18 points better than O? It's going to be close. So I think my player's fine. Opponent's rack plays Cyber. And I play Etamins, nothing obviously better. Opponent's rack plays Huia. Now I have the first of a number of horrendous racks, I think. But I do at least have facts for 44. Opponent's rack plays Toad, and now this is absolute horror show. So Gur, A10, opening up row A. Opponent makes that play later. I didn't fancy it. I changed. Opponent does have vowels, but nothing great, so he did not have an S when he played Cenote. My rack. Uranitic the only bingo, so delighted to have spotted that. No bingo here, despite it looking bingo-y. Opponent plays Glad. And I have mured for 28. Opponent's rack plays UFO. Now suddenly my prospects took a turn for the better with this pick. But was there a bingo? No, there wasn't, and I played Suck or Sook for 45. That looks fine. Opponent bingos. And I have Eloined in column 1. Glenoid also playable there, avoiding the vowel next to the premium square. So Glenoid probably better, and there were other options. Opponent's rack plays Bye, and I have Zoni for 71. Zona would have been a better play because it would have kept 2 vowels. So I thought about Zoia, but I didn't think about Zona. The downside of Zona would be that it takes an S, so opponent could have played Joist, so Zoni does have some merit. Opponent plays Kip, and I have Hay for 37. This is when opponent plays GRR. It's a bingo-y rack. And I have a very non-bingo-y rack. I play Vig. And I was thinking about playing Wriggle. And I'm still undecided on that. This is a pretty horrible rack, but it's not emptying the bag. And it is taking out a bingo lane. Now opponent has the J and the V. Plays Pav. F15. Wow, that would have been the play, I think. Bylaw. Stopping opponent from playing Sujo. Wow, very, very clever play. 32 points. I play Pew. Opponent has Joist. I play Long. And opponent goes out for 8 points, and he could have got 12. So what an epic battle. Really, really tight board and some very tricky racks to deal with. And ultimately, I came out with a big score, but that's partly a reflection on the sheer length of the game. So many thanks to my opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.